Hey everyone, welcome to the Bitcoin video today. It is the last day of July 2020, and I'd like to give an update on Bitcoin before I get into any of this. Of course, as you know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research, and I'm just giving my opinion on the market. I want to take a look at some real interesting stuff right now. And what I want to really take a look at is the long-term view of Bitcoin, and I want to start all the way back in December of 2017. And I think what a lot of people get stuck in is looking too near term and not focusing on what has happened to get us to where we are today. They're hyper focused on what the count looks like near term. And again, just continues to forget the history. And one thing that my history teacher taught me is the first day of history class, and my history teacher told me that the one thing that we learn in history class is that we don't learn from our own history. And so I always try and take that into account whenever I'm trying to look at a trend and focusing on where things are going. If you don't know where you came from and you don't know where you're at, then you don't know where you're going. So we really need to focus on this, and I want to keep this as simple as possible, because if you make it too complicated, then you just end up second guessing yourself. So here is what I see on the market right now, moving into the charts. All right, so I think it's pretty obvious that what we've got here is the remnants of wave 4 completing, and we are beginning a wave 5. I tend to believe that this wave 5 is going to be extended. I think it's going to take a while for us to get there to the top. I think this last wave is probably going to last about 3 months potentially. I don't know. We'll find out. It may take less than that. But going back to this, we have our first wave of correction, and then we had our third wave. Okay, so from the top, we had 5 waves down. We had this wedge A, B, C, D, E, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete this move down here. I believe this was not the completion of the correction. I really don't think that correction is done. Okay, I mean, if you go way back, right? So let's say I go to a 3-day time frame here. Let's go 3-day. If you go way back, and you're taking a look at this from back when things launched on Coinbase back in 2014, I mean, I guess I would really have to go to Bitstamp to really see this, because there's more history back here that we don't see. But I can't believe that this correction is complete. I really don't think that this is done. And so therefore, and let's move back to daily time frame and zoom back in so we can see this. Okay, what I think that we completed there is wave A. All right, I think this is our first wave of the correction. I think we are still in the second wave of the correction, which would be a wave B. All right, I think we can all agree that this right here, this wave right here, we can agree that that is a 5-wave impulse. Okay, it's pretty clean. It's pretty clean. It looks pretty good if you ask me. I think everybody and their mother is calling this not a wave A, but a wave 1. And this is wave 2. And basically from down here, we started the bull run. We are going to the moon. I do think that we are going to end up going higher. So let me move this over so you can see this. I do think that we will end up going higher, potentially as high as 17,000, maybe even as high as 24,000. That would surely create a whole lot of, I hate using the word FOMO. I think it's just a really stupid term, but it would cause a whole lot of interest, a whole lot of buying interest. And you can be darn sure, because of this guy right here, there is going to be sellers waiting to sell up in this range, it's going to take a while to push through this. Okay, I really doubt it's going to happen that first time around. If we get there on this push, all right. So, we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to create this 5, and then we're going to maybe we come down further than this, right? Because these waves, if we have, 5 into the A, B, C into the B, we should have, 5 waves up into this C, okay? We should have 5 waves up, which means, more than likely we're going to get an up, a little bit of down, right? Because this is going to be the 1, 2, and then we're going to go for 3, 4, 5 into this 5, okay? We'll get the subdivision. You just have to give it time. You just have to give it time. But ultimately, I do think that we're going to make another little push up. I mean, we're at 11,230 right now. I mean, pretty decent price that we've got on Bitcoin after we pushed up and out of this little wedge that we did. But again, we're working on wave 1 on this last wave 5 more than likely, which means we're going to have a little bit more up, probably not a lot, okay? So let's go ahead and kind of zoom in just a little bit here. Just look left, okay? Look left. We're going to have some resistance up here at about 12.1. Definitely going to have some resistance up here in this range at 13 if we get there. I've been talking about 12.2 for a while. That's going to be in confluence with this top back here. Okay, I mean, so if we even just wicked these guys off, let's go ahead and do that. Let's take our horizontal ray and our auto tool here. Let's just wick off the top of this, just so that we can have a little bit of clarity. Oh, come on, mouse. Let's get it right there. Okay, we're gonna have another guy right here, and then the last guy right there. Okay, those are the 3 areas of resistance that we're gonna have to push through. Okay, the first run, I don't think we're gonna make it. Probably we'll do a pullback, and my pullback that I've got on this, it really depends on how high we go. It would not surprise me one bit for us to come back and to reclaim this guy right here as support. And that's going to be at about 10.2, right? So if we go all the way up to 12.2, I mean, you're looking for a potential $2,000 move to the downside. You're going to be afraid to buy that dip because you're going to be afraid that something like this is going to happen, okay? And if you're trading on BitMEX, gosh, be careful with stop losses because you just get ruined. It's happened to me one too many times. So, I mean, I've got my opinions about that. I won't get into it here. Potential move all the way up here to 12.2, right? You got 12.4 right here. You got 12.2. Maybe we don't quite make a new high there. But again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then moving up for the 5 up here. All right. My count might be a little off, but I think that this is exactly what's happening, guys. Which means we're not going to hit 50K in 2021. Okay. I don't think that's going to happen either. Move that out of the way. Okay. So what do I think is going to happen? Let me just pull this over here so we can see all of this in all of its glory. All right, we've got this ABC into the A, maybe you can call it a WXY into the A, 5, 3, 5 into the B, an ABC into the B, so 5, 3, 5, ABC into a larger B. And then what are we going to see? We're going to see another 3 major waves down, and it's going to take time, guys. It's going to take time for this to happen. We're going to have likely another 3 waves down, whether it comes down in a WXY or if it comes down in an ABC. However this happens, we're going to retest this down here. I really believe that we do. Before we go bullish, I do believe we're going to retest this low back here. I think it's going to happen. And I'll be interested in buying if and when we get there. First target for this correction, technically speaking, is going to be sitting here. I mean, it really depends on how high we go, right? So I've pulled this all the way up to 17,000, I think about 17,000 exactly. So if we go up to 17K, our first target to the downside is going to be sitting right here at about 5,500. More than likely, the 100% equality is going to be sitting down here at about 2,700. It's very possible we go down to 1750. All right, 1750 just happens to be this guy right here. Okay, look at how close that is, assuming that we get up this high, right? I can't prophesize and say that we're going to go down here based on the fact that the 123.6 is sitting right there because we haven't gotten to 17K yet. Again, this is measuring from the top here to the bottom and then an assumed pullback to 17K. If we get an expanded flat here, then we got some other stuff to talk about. We'll figure that out if we get there. But ultimately, what this looks like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3, go in for a triangle, a wave 4. We bust out of this thing, so we have a 1, 2. Let me just go ahead and put this in here so that we can, put this in with a little bit of clarity. All right, let's put this over here. Zoom in just a little bit. I want to make it so that you guys can see this as I'm drawing this out. So let's pull that back. All right, so from here, we're going to get, more than likely, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 to complete the 5, to complete the C, to complete the B. And then from there, let me move this out of here. Okay, I've got this projected all the way out to November 1st. Okay, so if this happens quicker than that, it's possible. I've got a weird feeling that this December is not going to be as merry as people say or expect. I could be wrong. We will take this as it comes. But based on this move that we had up here, right, the breakout of this wedge that everybody was expecting to go down, myself included, right? If you all remember, and I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong here, if you all remember, I counted this as a 1, 2, 1, 2. I was expecting a pretty sharp move to the downside that did not happen. Okay, so I'm happy to admit that. I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. But I think we're creating another little bit of a wedge here, and we're talking days, right? So we could be in this range here for, a few more days, but it does look like we want to push up to complete the 1, then we reject, we correct, we go down to the 2, and potentially this comes down to maybe 10.2, maybe 10.4, wherever it comes down to, it should reclaim this guy, this zone rather, as pretty significant support. And we'll go ahead and just kind of put this in here so we can see it. So I'm interested in from this wick high right here. Let me pull that up right there. All this right here should equal really, really strong support at this point now that we have broken up above it. And it does look like already that we have reclaimed some of this as support already. So let me just zoom in on this and we can see where that all comes from. Pull this out, and right there you can see it. We've already started to reclaim this area as support right there. Okay, so we've already started to reclaim that level as support. Likely we'll probably try and cut into it a little bit, but then I do think that we continue marching on up after that happens. Right now we're creating just the the typical wedge. From here we can see. If you count it from here, we've got a 1. So from this right here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 into this 1, right? I'm not going to get into the details there, but you can see that we are in the middle of an impulse. This likely is going to pull back a little bit. If you want to get long, you can get long around 10.8, 10.9 if it comes back down there. But I do think that we make our way back up. And again, potentially to 12,000 to 12.2. Very possible that we do try and make it all the way up there. So, I mean, catching a $1,000, $1,200 move would be pretty nice if that happens. Then I think we correct, we move ourselves down. But ultimately, very, very possible that we find ourselves all the way up. Let me pull this back over here. Find ourselves all the way up here at about 17. Let's see if there's any technical backing behind that kind of a move, and then I'll go ahead and wrap things up. All right, so if we take from the very top, so we're taking a look at, about 20K, just shy. We come all the way down here. I'm curious where the 887 is. So let's just pull this in, pull up the 786, which is at 13,390. That's interesting. The 887, that's at 16,142. So, we've got this up here where I think likely that resistance is going to come into play, and maybe we spike through it. So this right here, this zone between 16,142 and 17,000, right on the nose. This is where I think that we're going to stall out before we start moving back down. So that 887 is sitting there. If I get off of log scale and I go to a linear scale, that 887 is sitting there at 18,000. The 786 is at 16,300. So whether you're looking at linear or log scale, this zone up here is going to be pretty important resistance. And right there, this top right here at 17,178, that is right in line with the 123.6 as well. So, and also if you go to a log scale, it's right in line with the 100. So guys, I'm short-term bullish, but man, that would be a crazy short to take, taking it all the way up here from 16,000 to 17,000, somewhere in that range, all the way down to potentially $2,700. Okay, again, this move up is going to cause a whole lot of demand, right? I'll call it demand. I don't want to call it FOMO. That rise would cause a whole lot of demand. You're going to see the Twitter accounts just going crazy saying that we're going to all-time highs and no more tweets until we hit 20K. My next tweet's going to be at 20K. Just all these people. The greed is going to be asinine. The greed's already pretty high right now, but I think that we still have higher to go. So we'll have to take this one day at a time, one wave at a time. But ultimately, I think it's very, very possible that this scenario plays out. So trade safely, be careful out there. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up, but if this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. If you want access to our Discord, just throw in a comment in the YouTube chat, and I'll be more than happy to get an invite code out to you. But wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night,